Okay, hello my friends. Welcome to your flow this week. So if you didn't watch last week's video, I guess you don't really have to, but it might be nice to watch last week's video before jumping into this week's video because they tie into each other. So last week we talked about Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Warrior 3. I've personally been teaching them in all my in-person classes as well. So we've been getting down to like the nitty-gritty with our warrior poses. And this class is going to show that as well. So this class will go through Warrior 1, Warrior 2, and Warrior 3. So if you want to spend some more time diving in, I definitely suggest watching last week's video. And if you've already watched last week's video and you're ready for class, come on in. You don't need blocks, but if you have blocks, it could be nice for this class. I'll cue portions of us using the blocks. Yeah, once you grab your props, go ahead and come back to your mats and we'll get started here in a moment. I just want to go over a few things I have going on that really speak to those in the Valley, in Phoenix with me, in Arizona, or those who practice with me virtually who I've gotten to know over the course of a few years or so, which is so awesome to me. I have a Joshua Tree retreat coming up at the end of July. Your ticket is $850. That includes your entire weekend, food, workshops, yoga. We have a facilitator coming in to go over your human design, everything. If you're not wanting to pay the $850, we also have camping options. We have 2 campsites that have already been sold and we have 2 more available, and that's $500 for your entire weekend as well. And the campground is like 5 minutes away from the villa that we're going to have the retreat at, and the villa is yours to use the entire day. Basically, the campsite is just where you're going to sleep. You okay there, cutie? Oh my goodness, look at this tie. I can't handle the ties. And yeah, we also have day retreats going on in Mesa, Arizona. So if you are local to the area and you're wanting to experience a retreat but don't have the whole weekend to experience the retreat, or you do not have the finances for a weekend retreat, I have co-facilitated a day retreat, and that's taking place June 30th, all on my website here too. And lastly, next year is looking to be insane in the best way. I think I'm going to be able to release to you at least 3 to 5 yoga retreats we're going to be doing throughout the year. So definitely keep your eyes peeled for that, because I know some people like to plan ahead and you need to plan ahead for life. So we're trying our best to get our last few retreats in the book for 2025, and then we'll have all that to share with you as well. And I definitely hope to see a few faces that practice with me virtually in real life next year. Let's make next year the year that we hang out with each other IRL. Okay, let's get started. So once you grab your props, if you have any, go ahead and just place them on the side of your mat, and we're gonna start in a seat I almost said this afternoon because it's afternoon for me, but we're starting in a seat this morning, this evening, or this afternoon. When you find your seat, anything goes, whether it's crisscross applesauce. If you need to extend the legs out nice and long, you can do that here as well. We're really just using the seat to come into our center. So once you find a seated pose, whether it's both sit bones on the ground, whether you are using a block or a pillow to elevate your hips, hone in, tune in to your space. Notice what you arrived here with. Finding a breath to drop the shoulders away from the ears as you unclench your jaw. Dropping the face muscles, so relaxing the face muscles here, so to speak. Hands, they fall wherever it feels best, whether they gently land on top of your knees or more so inside your lap. Just make sure you're not working unnecessary spaces here as you tune in. I would suggest today having your palms face the ceiling, so the tops of your hands are touching your legs in some way, shape, or form. Once you allow the palms to face the top of your ceiling, so top of your space, you're allowing energy to come into your space. Of course, if you're not looking for that, wherever you are within your journey, you can always place your hands right back on top of your kneecaps. But if you want to create some good juju, if you want to let this practice kind of lead into the rest of your day, whatever that looks like, place your palms up towards the ceiling. Find a breath here with me. Big breath in. Exhale, let it go. Now from this seated pose, gently scrunch the shoulders up to your ears so you feel that connection here, feel that tenseness. Find a breath in. Exhale, drop them right on down. Now let's find a few rounds of our box breathing together just to set the tone for your practice. So when you're ready, start on empty. We're gonna find that first big breath in through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. And nice slow exhale here, 4, 3, 2, 1, stay empty. We got 2 more just like that. Breath in, 4, 3, 2, 1, you pause. Nice slow exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. We stay empty, hold that empty space, feel your abs contract slightly. 1 more round like that. Breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. You pause. A nice slow exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. We stay empty. Hold that space a little bit longer here with me. Stick with me for 4, for 3, for 2, and now on 1, a big breath in. Let it lengthen out your spine. Let it travel through the crown of your head. Fill up, and hold. Now exhale, let it go. Nice, let's find 1 more just like that. Breath in. Let it go. Beautiful, my friends. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Lose your posture here a little bit. Anything goes with the hands. And just start swaying your head left to right. Let's release the back of the neck here for a moment. Now find a breath in and roll the shoulders away from the ears. Sit up nice and tall. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Open up your throat for 3, for 2. Neck circles on 1. Drop an ear to a shoulder, chin to a chest. Be intuitive here. So notice where you want to take this and lean into that space. Take note of the spaces you find that you're probably not even thinking about. So if you tend to favorite your left side or your right side here first as you find these rotations, try to switch it out for a moment. Notice how it feels to just pit stop in a sticky space, like a space that you're like, oof, I could spend some time here. I could find a breath here. Notice how it feels. Spend some time there. Find a breath here. Good. Eventually come back towards center. This time we're going to inhale those arms up nice and high so you build some length through your sides. Let your palms kiss if you're able to. Keep reaching up for 3, for 2. Bend and cactus on 1 as you exhale. Open up that heart. Let's do 1 more just like that. Inhale, we reach. Exhale, we bend and cactus. Let's hold for 3, for 2. On 1, forearms come together. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Build that flexion through your shoulders. Now as you inhale, open up, arch your back. Bring your chest through. Think cat-cow. Good. As you exhale, forearms are going to glue together. Push your sit bones back. We got 3 more. Inhale. Sweet baby boy. Exhale. 2 more, my friends. Inhale. Feel your collarbones expand. Exhale. Bring it together. Last round with me. Inhale. Breathe. Exhale. Tuck. Hold this space for 3, for 2. Hands, heart center on 1. Breath in. Let it go. Good. Let's find a tabletop pose here. So when you find this tabletop pose, I want you to take a second to warm up your wrist. Separate the fingers. Start making those circular motions with your shoulders. Try to keep your hips and knees in line with one another, or maybe the knees come further away from the hips if you want to lower the hips down to get into the lower back. But either way, wrist stretches slash cat-cow slash spinal movement slash anything that feels good in this tabletop pose for your practice today. I'll take you through a couple rounds of cat-cow as well. If you're not sure and you're wanting that guidance, please feel free to follow me for the next 3 rounds. From your neutral tabletop pose, inhale, we drop the belly. Exhale, we push. Good. Last 2. Inhale, we drop that belly. Buoyancy in your elbows. Pull your heart through. Exhale, straighten those arms. Scoop the tailbone up and under. Big breath. Inhale, drop that belly. Shift your gaze. Last time you push, you exhale and round. Good. Bring it back to that neutral tabletop pose. Now, if you can, flip your fingertips to face your kneecaps. Eyes of the elbows will shine towards the top of your space. If this is too much, you can always even let your fingertips kind of chase the edges of your mat here as well. But I just want to use this to get into your forearms here a little bit. So eyes of the elbows towards the top of your space. Gaze down at your hands, like right in between your hands, and just find a breath here with me. Breath in, breath out. Gently start to drop the heels, or the hips towards the heels rather. Your palms might lift off the mat just slightly. That is okay. Gently place them back down. Lift them back up slightly. Place them back down. One more round if you're with me. Lift up slightly. Place them back down. Good. Go ahead. Excuse us, fielder. Go ahead and bring the fingertips to face the top of your mat. And we're going to step it back to a plank pose. So fingertips face the top of your mat. Extend your legs towards the back of your space. Realigning in your plank pose, so driving your heels back, pushing into the L's of your hands. Triceps are spiraling forward. Eyes of the elbows will start to spiral forward with them. Biceps, of course, will naturally spiral back here. Wake up your core, find your drive, grip the mat with all 10 fingers. Now activating your core with some movement, go ahead and shift your shoulders forward. Drive the heels back. Shift forward and back. Find this movement with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, down dog on 1. Bend those knees. Hike the hips up. When you find this downward facing dog, as always, whether you practice with me virtually or in person, I'm always going to tell you this first down dog is yours. It's an opportunity for you to move, for you to explore. An opportunity for you to just see how things are landing for you today. Every single time you are on your mat, you are a different person. You're more tired, you're more happy, you're more sad, you're more weak, you're more strong. There's no wrong way to arrive to your mat. The only wrong way to arrive to your mat is with unrealistic expectations for yourself. So find your center, work from that center. Eventually start to invite some stillness into your downward facing dog. As you push the mat away, feel the length develop in your arms all the way through your hamstrings. If your torso is bearing a lot of weight in your downward facing dog, recommit to bending your knees as you shift weight from your torso to your lower half. Very strong legs here, my friends. Remember to use them in these spaces. Now eventually settle in. Let's find a breath here together. So empty out your down dog. Find that first big breath in with me through your nose. As you exhale, push your chest back towards your thighs. Crown of the head is nice and heavy towards the mat beneath you. Find a breath. Now when you're ready on this next breath in, let's lift those heels up nice and high. Exhale, heels drop left, toes go right. You can stay here or pick up that right foot, bring it behind your left ankle. Deeply bend your right and your left leg as you drive your right sit bone, your right hip back. Now inhale brings you back towards center, right foot meets your left. Exhale, heels go right, your toes go left. If If you want to add more, sneak that left ankle behind your right, deeply bend your knees. Play with that left side body stretch. Now inhale back towards center, heels are high. Exhale, drop them down. Now from here, inhale that right foot up towards the sky. As you exhale, right foot steps in between both of your thumbs as you set up for a runner's lunge. Now from your runner's lunge pose, go ahead and bring your blocks into this space. So we're going to use this to warm up our hammies, our hip flexors, our quads. As you can see here, I have mine on the second height. Might even feel good on the third height too. I will never not encourage you to explore and play with all the options so you can make this a practice that you want to revisit. So you find that runner's lunge, whatever you want to do with these blocks. I want you to use the blocks to help you with this alignment, so it's already helping you lift up your chest. Now get into your knee a little bit. Maybe that right knee goes over your right ankle, big maybe. But if you are there, use that space. Get into that right ankle. Now you'll find some variation of a modified pyramid pose as you hike your hips back, fold over, straightening right leg, shake out the head a little bit. Think of allowing your right hamstring to lengthen out as you recommit to gripping the mat with that right big toe. Look at that back heel. Make sure you're lifting up that back heel too. And now you have this range to explore. So think about letting a breath in, rebend your knee. Maybe the hips sink a little bit lower as weight shifts off of your left foot. And then an exhale pushes you back. Take your time, maybe one more round or two. Linger where you need to. Good. When you're ready, come back into your right knee. Left hand stays on the block, and we're going to inhale that right hand high. So you're finding that elevated runner's lunge twist. If I were in the room with you currently, I would bring my hand on top of the crown of your head, and I would ask you to push into my hand. That's going to make you lengthen out your back body. It's going to make the crown of the head travel forward. It's going to make you hike that left heel towards the back of your space. And you want to keep those hips low by rebending your right knee. Stay here and breathe with me for 3. For 2, right hand finds your block. Left hand is on your block if you're using them. These are an extension of your hands as you bring them towards the left edge of your mat to find a wide-legged forward fold. Now all together, we're going to find a breath in, halfway lift, gaze forward just slightly. Maybe shake the booty because I'm shaking my booty. And then exhale, find that fold. Maybe the elbows bend. We're just using this for a little pit stop here, my friends. So take your time exploring what stillness brings you today. Maybe it feels good to bend into one knee, bend into the other. Or hands can stay right under your shoulders as you shut down your eyes. Now big breath in, we're going to halfway lift. Your blocks come with you. Go to the back of your mat. We're just switching out our sides, so your left foot is already forward. Your right foot is back. See how it feels to explore bending into your left knee, playing with the push forward, playing with the pull back of your modified pyramid pose. Get nice and cruisy. You want to try to stay low as you continue leading with your chest so you can lengthen out your spine. But you also want to find some freedom as you see what shows up with your left quad, those hip flexors, all the spaces we're going to utilize here in just a moment. Now come back into your left knee. Right hand stays on your block. Inhale that left hand high. Rotate through your torso. Make sure you're not like reaching way too far with this left hand so it's going behind you. Shoulders stack. Your right eye, try to let it find your left thumb. So right eye is finding your left thumb here with your gaze. Grip the mat with your left toes. Breath in with me for 3. For 2. And on 1, left hand comes back down. We're going to revisit that wide-legged forward fold, but we'll do a different type of movement here together. So at least for a breath, just inhale, halfway lift, shake the booty if you want to. Exhale, fold it down. Shake out the head a little bit, torso's nice and heavy. Sealing the outer edge blades of your feet. You'll notice the inner arches lift slightly. Now, my friends, this brings you into a star pose. So we inhale all the way up, star pose. You're a big old X with me. Reach and push those hips forward. Now exhale, hands heart center. Little goddess action. We're only doing this one time in class. Trust me, it's not my fave pose either, but it's gonna be really good to get us into the inner thighs that we're gonna use for that half moon and our warrior three. So goddess pose. Toes go out, heels come in. Hands can stay on the thighs, and I want you to feel some buoyancy. I want you to feel bouncy here. So think of challenging your depth as you sink low, low, low. Come out when you need to, of course, but still be active in your legs. And eventually come into a goddess pose that you're able to hold for a moment. Bring your hands on top of your thighs. Shut down your eyes. We're here together to find a few steady breaths. So find a breath in with me. Let it go. Nice, one more here. Big breath in. As you exhale, sink lower, lower, lower for 3, for 2. Inhale, reach up, reach up, reach up. And now exhale, one more forward fold. Beautiful job. Now inhale, halfway lift. Exhale back to the top of your mat. Keep the blocks close towards the sides of your mat, and then step your right foot back to meet your left. Wake up your vinyasas with me this afternoon and or evening and or morning, my friends. Breath in. Exhale, you halfway lower. Inhale is your up dog. And exhale, back down dog. Wonderful. You got about 4 or 5 breaths here. Then we'll get into our sequence this, I keep wanting to say this afternoon because it's afternoon for me, but we'll get into this sequence today. So find your downward facing dog. Give me a couple breaths here. Got a couple more rounds here, whether you're in child's pose, on your shins, or down dog. Reset here, 2 more breaths. Okay, when you're ready, let's inhale that right foot up nice and high. Point your toes down so you square your hips. Essentially, you feel like you're stomping the back of your space. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, step your right foot in between your thumbs. We're gonna drop our back left heel. We're gonna find a warrior 1. So as always, let a breath in help you find your lift. Let your exhale help you settle back in. Everyone for this first round, we're gonna break down the first round, then we'll get cruisy for the second round, then I'll get you into some poses to close out class 2, okay? But for the first round, hands are on your hips. Notice your back left foot. 45 to 60 degree angle like we mentioned. I just ask you look to make sure your heel is out, your toes are in, because that's going to let this back hip come forward as you let your front hip pull back. Now you might have noticed I just had to recommit to bending into my right knee as I pulled my right hip back. You gotta fight that good fight of those oppositions of pulling and pushing, right? Now bring your core into the space so we remove that arch in our lower back. Lift up through the crown of your head. Your chin is parallel to the mat beneath you. Beautiful. Feel that rotation of your hips stay nice and steady as you use that left heel as your anchoring point to ground back down. If you can't ground down that back heel, shorten your stance, but always check to make sure you're utilizing the length that you can use here too. Gaze towards the top of your space. Remember, you're nice and strong. You're capable of holding this space. Give yourself a moment to show up. Find your breath. Reach with your fingertips. Spiral your pinkies in just slightly. If your shoulders are really, really close towards your ears, drop them down. That can even mean hands, heart center. If this is a lot of cueing for one pose, break it down. Bring your hands heart center if you need to. But either way, wherever you land in this warrior 1, breathe with me. Big breath in. Now as you exhale, we're gonna airplane our arms behind you. Your chest is naturally going to lean forward and your right booty is going to naturally start talking to you. We are in this fight together. Pull your right hip back. Can you build length through your sides, through your spine here a little bit more by reaching with the crown of your head? You're here with me. Find one more breath. Activate your core. Breath in. Breath out. Now inhale, sit up tall, straighten your right leg. Maybe the right toes come off the mat. Feel that extension here. Breathe it in. Now exhale as your warrior 2 as you let it go. Look at everything, my friends. That's why we're here. We're here to learn and move and groove. Look at everything. What is your back left foot doing now? From warrior 1 to warrior 2, that's a huge difference. Our back foot's now parallel. It's not on that angle. There is a lot of external rotation that's happening through this right thigh, which is one of the only reasons your right knee is actually going towards the right corner of your mat, is because you're making it with this thigh boy. Arms out to a T, gentle gaze perhaps over that right fingertip. Give yourself a moment, again, navel towards the spine, so you feel that pelvis lengthen, you feel your sacrum lengthen, and you feel your chest lengthen towards the ceiling. Your feet, your toes, they're here to support you, so grip the mat with your toes. Keep driving your right knee forward. That right thigh's parallel to the ground, or parallel-ish. Come back to your breath, fill up your spaces here, reach through all 10 fingertips. Anchor your shoulders back and down, so shoulder blades back, or shoulder blades together, shoulders down. Flip your right palm, keep that bend in your right knee, inhale, reverse your warrior. Use your right knee as your anchoring point. Find some lightness through your right fingertips as you reach behind you for 3, for 2. Half moon pose on 1. That can mean you come back to 2 and then find your half moon. That can mean you come from this reverse warrior all the way to your half moon pose. I don't care how you get there, but you're gonna get there using one of those options, right? This is when that block might come into play. Could be very nice to have this block. I'm gonna move just so I can make sure you see me through this half moon pose. So your right foot's planted, left foot is lifted and it's active. It's not just dead weight, so point or flex those left toes. Encourage yourself to keep opening up your hips towards the left side of your space as that gaze is on the ground. Of course, if half moon is a piece of cake, a walk in the park today, you can always play with shifting your gaze up towards the ceiling too. Nice and lifted through your core. Try to breathe into your right lung as you lengthen out your right side. That's the one beneath us. And for better or worse, do not hate me, my friends. Half moon pose, breathe in. Exhale, warrior 3. So you're squaring those hips and you'll bring your hands heart center to help you with balance. That was a big move. You got this. You can do it. If you fall out, get back in, my friend. We opened our hips. We're closing our hips. Hands heart center. Lead with your collarbones. Tuck your chin towards your chest, nice and lifted through the back of your neck. Find one more steady breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot meets your right. I want this to just be yours for a second. Shift some weight from your left foot to your right foot. Let that go. Beautiful job on your right side. Now big inhale, it's root to rise. Bring it up all the way. Push those hips forward. Exhale your hands through heart center. Another breath in, we reach up tall. Exhale, hinge and fold, bring it down. Now inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your vinyasa. Walk it back, jump it back. You got that high to low plank. Roll over the toes, find that up dog, nice and active through your legs as your thighs are lifted. And then exhale, roll back over those toes, push your hips back, down dog. Breath or 2 here to reset, then we switch. Breath in. And breath out. Let's do one more like that. Big breath in. Big exhale, let it go. Now when you're ready, left side, inhale your left foot high. Exhale in between your thumbs. We drop that right heel. You're in no rush. Breath in brings you up. Find that lightness. Lengthen out your sides. Think of the cues we went through. Pull your front hip back. Drop your right hip bone. Drive your left knee forward as it aligns with your ankle. Right heel is your grounding anchoring point here. Grip the mat with your toes. Unclench your jaw. Welcome your breath back into the space. Pinkies spiral in. Allow the neck to stay in alignment with your spine. Gaze forward, breath in. Stay here as you exhale. So good. You got this. One more breath in. Big reach. Exhale, phew, airplane those arms, drive them back. Palms face the ground here, lift through the shoulders. Give yourself a moment to fight for that length, so think of those small details. Lead with the crown of your head, nice and strong with your legs. Now find that breath in, reach up, straighten your left legs. Maybe the toes come off the mat, extend and reach. Exhale, warrior two, bring it right back in. I feel like I'm like lifting up some energy with me from that warrior one and letting it go. Like my hands are on fire. We're like shooting some energy out of our hands. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. That's what I'm thinking when I'm teaching, by the way, so you're welcome. Big breath in, roll the shoulders away, hike your booty on in. Gentle gaze, find that drishti. See what arrives on this left side, nice and light through the upper half. Nice and calm with your demeanor, nice and calm with your gaze. Find your home base here, breath in. Exhale, keep that bend in your left knee. Now inhale, reverse that warrior. Paint the sky above you, reach and extend. Find some lift as you find your lean. Half moon is yours, my friends, when you're ready. Bring that into your half moon pose. Nice and steady on this side. Try to bend your standing leg as you build your stability. I always say this in person. I've probably said it on here too, but steady breath, steady mind. What that means to me, you have a focus on your breath, which brings a focus into your mindset. Your focus is here. Your focus is calm. Your focus is confident. Your focus is allowing you to find a challenge, allowing you to fall and get back out of this if that's what's happening. You're just finding your edge today, and that's not something to look bad on, like to frown upon, you know, like it's a good thing. Come back to your practice, come back to your space. Bring this into a warrior three when you're ready. So we square the hips. See, as I just said, fall out, get back in, square the hips, bring your hands heart center, laugh at yourself a little bit. I swear, like everyone's in like such a good mood, and it's probably more so me just being an instructor in my head. But then we like start doing this stuff and everyone looks so pissed off or so upset. I'm like, it's not that serious, guys. We're just trying, we're just moving, we're just breathing. But they're also just probably trying to focus and they're actually loving the class. Anyways, breath in. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Thank you all for being my therapist today too. Gotta get those thoughts out sometimes, and when you say them out loud, you're like, actually, it's probably just me. Every day of my life. Bring it up one more time. Big breath in. Push those hips forward. Exhale, hands to heart center. Nice. Inhale, bring it forward. Lift up. Exhale, cruise it on down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, your high to low plank. Walk it back. Jump it back. We meet in down dog. Stick with me here. We're going to do that one more time, right and left side. And we're going to slow it down towards the end too. We got a little transition that we'll do right to left. And just one time so we can let it settle us into our first closing pose here. So 2 more breaths, strong arms, strong legs. Gripping the mat with your fingers, elevating through your sides, driving your heels down. Now remember, we lengthen out the inhales and the exhales here, okay? Breath in, reach your right foot up. Exhale, step your right foot through. Drop that back heel. We inhale, rise, warrior one, nice and steady with your stature. Exhale, airplane those arms. Inhale, reach back up. We straighten that right leg. Exhale, warrior two. Love this. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Exhale, find that half moon pose again, block or no block. Half moon pose. Not here for the same amount of time, but you still have a moment to find your balance, to find your click. When you're ready to switch, square off the hips, bring your hands heart center, breath in. Don't hate me, we're gonna find a move from here. So you're in this warrior three. Start to deeply bend your right knee, deeply bend your right knee, low lunge pose. You drop your left knee to the mat, inhale, low lunge. Good, when you find that low lunge, give yourself a moment, open up your front body, reach through the palms, big breath in. Exhale, we're gonna find a lizard pose. So bring your hands in front of your right foot, or inside your right foot rather. And then heel toe your right foot closer towards the right edge of your mat. We have our blocks today, so if you would like to use your blocks, bring your blocks under your hands for this lizard pose. taking a moment to drop your right hip. Like if there's a string on your heart, let that string pull up towards the sky. Find a breath. I have to remind myself, so maybe I'm reminding somebody else, you have to ground down through that right toe, the right big toe here, just so that knee stays in line with your ankle. Maybe another breath or two, settle in. Nice. Now when you're ready, you're going to move into a half split pose with your blocks if you have them, or your hands. And actually, I just changed my mind. I don't want to use my blocks for this because I find it feels best when I don't have to worry about that stuff, but that is for me. So if you want your blocks, use your blocks. Half split pose, gaze forward, come back into a lizard variation. We are just flossing those hippies, getting into the booty, my friends. So exhale, half split. Inhale, lizard pose. Good. Exhale, half split. Inhale, lizard pose. Tuck your back left toes. Right foot meets your left. Breath in. Exhale, vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful, my friends. Let's do that left side when you're ready. Left foot goes up. Exhale, in between the thumbs. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, airplane the arms right behind you. Inhale, reach tall, straighten your left leg. Exhale, warrior two, let it go. Inhale, reverse that warrior. Exhale, half moon pose. You have some time here, explore that space. Nice lift through your right leg, open up the hips. Right hand can chase the ceiling, or it can catch your lower back here too. Now when you're ready, square this off. You find that warrior three, bring your hands heart center, big breath in. We deeply bend that left knee, deeply bend, bring it to a low lunge. Right knee comes to the ground, inhale, arms high. Nice job, that's not an easy transition. Take a moment, find your breath. Now exhale, bring those hands down inside your left foot. Start with that lizard pose. If you want to add the blocks in, add the blocks in. I guess I just like the blocks for my lizard pose today, but not my half splits. Like I said, different strokes for different folks. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't actually even use blocks for my lizard pose, but today it just feels nice. So why question what feels nice? Just let it feel nice. Now, when you're ready, find that half split pose. Feel free to linger for a moment if you'd like to, but you kind of know the gist. We're coming to that half split as we exhale. We pull it back through as we inhale. Beautiful, couple rounds here. Lunge back in this time. Tuck your back right toes, lift up your knee, find your plank pose and your last vinyasa of class today. Good, bring it back to down dog. Find a couple steady breaths here. Last down dog, take a moment, see how this new down dog feels with all that space. Now, when you're ready, let's inhale those heels up nice and high. You're gonna have a 10 count journey to the top of your mat, and we're gonna come right to our backs. So inhale, heels high. Exhale, 10 count journey. You wanna walk, step, hop, walk with your hands, but either way, we land forward fold in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let it go. Nice work. Sway it out a little bit. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, descend to your mat. Drop the booty. Come to your backs. Woo. Take a moment here. You guys probably don't notice this. Maybe somebody has noticed it, but geez, do I say take a moment enough? Take a moment. But truly, take a moment. Take a second. Take some time. Find your breath. Left foot comes to the mat if it's not already there. Right ankle catches your left knee. Find your reclined pigeon. Ladies, if you have a clip, I love wearing a clip in reclined pigeon because it elevates my head. But you also can just like let your head rest on the mat as long as it's comfortable. And of course, if you don't have a clip, which is like an insane thing to say, like bring your clip if you have it for rest. which just nothing makes sense anymore that I'm saying, so it's fine. But you can always bring a block under your head here too. Try to roll the shoulders away so you glue those shoulder blades down here for another second. And find your breath. Now we're gonna bring this into a twist too. Right foot, let your left hand catch your right foot and gently guide your right foot towards the left. Extend your right arm out nice and long and gaze towards your right arm. Now I'm well aware some people might not have the capability of grabbing your right foot, which is okay. You can always just grab your right shin too, or you can completely release as well, but I just want you to bring an emphasis on trying to bring your right foot towards the left side of your space. And breathe into this twist. Beautiful. Come back towards center. Extend both legs up towards the sky. Kind of like literally shake your legs. Shake them out. And then place your right foot on the ground. Left ankle catches that right knee, my friends. And you already know what you're doing. So do what you got to do here on this other side. You can keep that right foot on the ground the whole time as always. Or if you want some more, invite it closer towards your chest. Interlace at your shin, behind your thigh. Big, full, grateful breaths in and out as you relish in this stillness with me. Unclench your jaw. I'm like naturally just smiling because like, damn, when you have a good class and you find some good movement and you're like laying here getting ready to close out class, like you did it. We're already at the finish line. So thank yourself for that. Thank you for joining me for this. Right hand, find your left foot, ankle, leg in some way, shape, or form so you can quite literally feel yourself guiding your left leg towards the right. And this time that gaze goes towards your left arm, whether it's out nice and long or whether you're cactusing today, my friends. Totally up to you. Gently allow your left foot to remain on the ground. Maybe you play with the sensation of opening up your left knee a little bit here. That might help you get into that outer hip. 1 or 2 more breaths. Good. Come back towards center. Bring both feet on the mat this time and kind of just knock them left to right. Eventually they'll find a little legs up the wall action. This is such an MO of mine too. Like I love finding legs up the wall at the start and the end of class. I don't know why, but it's my thing. If you want more from this, I'm literally just not going to do it because my clip and I don't feel like taking my hair out. But you want shoulder stance, plow pose, start hiking those hippies on up. Place your hands on your lower back, kind of where your back pockets would be, so more so your booty. Push into your elbows, your forearms. And I'm going to give you a good 10 seconds before we find our Savasana pose with Supta Baddha Konasana legs. So finish what you're doing for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and on 1, Supta Baddha Konasana legs, bring your hands on your belly. Of course, if you don't want to close out class like this, extend your legs out nice and long, but if you want some more time to spend in your hips, Supta Baddha Konasana legs would be perfect for your Savasana. Now when you're ready, let's find one more breath here together to solidify our practice, to close our practice, to bring some gratitude to this practice. Big breath in. Hold at the top, seep in a little more. Let it go. Find your Savasana here. Now, feel free to stay just as you are. And honestly, tell me in the comments if you hate or love that I do this. If you hate that I leave you in Savasana, if you love that I leave you in Savasana, if you don't care. If you have a strong preference, let me know. But I just know you could have so much more time to spend here, and I want to encourage that. So you can just tune me out. Maybe if you want to quote unquote close out with me, just bring your hands on your heart for a moment. But if you're like ready to start your day, end your day, whatever you're doing, you can slowly come up to a seat here too. But I got you covered either way. Either enjoy your rest or enjoy closing out with me for real without, with getting up and all the stuff. Anyways, bring your hands heart center if you are in a seat, or place your hands on top of your heart if you are remaining on your back. One more breath in. Exhale, you bow. Thank you so, so much for joining me for your class today, this week, wherever you're doing it, however you're doing it. I definitely appreciate you tuning in, and I'm always here if you have any questions, any comments, any concerns. But I can't thank you enough for joining our little community here and for practicing with me today, and I will see you on your mat next week.